Hey everybody, it is Alex with Hake Hardware, and in this video I'm going to quickly go over how to get an operator set up for Steak Wars 2. So I don't think the actual start date for Steak Wars 2 has been announced, but it is coming up really quick, so it's a good idea to get your operator syncing because it could take 1 to 2 days. You shouldn't register it or attempt to register it. I think there's still maybe some things in limbo or some changes, but basically it seems like the vibe in Discord is to not actually register your operator, but you can get it syncing. I don't know, maybe some changes might be rolled out that makes you requires you to sync your operator again, but it seems like it's okay to just start syncing your operator. Just we're not going to register. So I will do another guide for when you can register your operator and get everything going so that people like nominators will be able to stake TSSC against your operator. So let's just jump right into it. I have a little Substack guide here. One note is that running an operator really isn't for everybody. If you're a farmer, there's a good chance that you're just going to want to be a nominator. To be an operator, you need to stake about 100 TSSC, which is a pretty good amount. And if your operator goes down, or if it's not performing, to spec, if your specs are not high enough, so you don't meet the requirements and it's slow, it's not doing what it's supposed to be doing, you can have some of that TSSC slashed. And I don't know how that actually impacts rewards or if there's any tangible like negative effect of that. I don't know. I'm sure it's probably in a forum post or like it was mentioned somewhere, but the idea is you want to have like a dedicated like hardware, maybe not dedicated hardware, but you want to have hardware that meets the minimum requirements. It's more than just running a node, and you need to keep this online because people are going to be staking against your operator, and if it goes down, then those people are losing rewards. But the idea is that it is not for everybody. So it's okay if you just want to be familiar with what an operator is, which is basically like a specialized node, it seems like. But there's going to be a nominator tutorial as well, and I will shamelessly plug my operator to stake against, but you could really stake it, against any operator, and it should be a pretty simple process. So nominator guide coming up soon, operator registration guide coming up soon. Right now we're just talking about getting an operator set up and syncing because it takes 1 to 2 days. All right, let's see what else, if there's anything. Oh, and one more note on operator, you have to sync from scratch. So if you have a node, you can't convert that into an operator. You basically have to restart with specific operator commands. It is a node, like you're using the node image in uh, in Docker, and if you're doing the command line as well, it's going to be the same basic like application for a node, but you're going to be including some additional parameters to make it run like an operator. And some of these are shown in here with like the domain ID, and eventually you'll have like I don't know if it's like called an operator ID or what it is, but you're going to have some additional parameters that you're going to put in here. So that's a very, very brief overview of an operator. If you check out the subspace guides, there's a whole section about, let me just bring this in here. If you go to docs, there we go. And then you can just do start farming over here on the left-hand side. I believe it's under farming and staking, operators and nominators, and then introduction. And this is where it gives you, and they're still updating the docs for Steak Wars 2, so keep in mind some of this may change, but they're giving, some information about what you need for a operator. And the specs, again, are quite a bit more intense than just running a node. So keep that in mind. For me, I'm going to be running one of my best PCs on this, and it's going to be dedicated. to just running a operator. Okay, getting back into how you actually run it. It's pretty straightforward. This is the stack file, and you can run it pretty much as it is, but you'll probably want to update the name. So mine's just called Hake Hardware Operator. You can name yours whatever you want. You're probably going. I changed the ports because I don't want it to conflict with my node that's running. But you'll just have to make sure, you can, if you change this port so it doesn't conflict, maybe you have something on here, just make sure you change it in all three spots. And then you can probably remove the labels if you want. This is just something that my monitoring application Spaceport pulls in so that it can label it correctly because they're all using the node image. So like it's a good way or an easy way for my application to just parse exactly what its purpose is when it displays it. And oh, time zone. So I'm in Phoenix, so you can update the time zone to yours. And once it's going, like it'll just start syncing. And the target is basically where the blockchain's at. And then the best is what you're currently at and finalize. You don't have to really worry about that. Uh, so that's it. It's pretty simple. It's a good idea to just get it going. There's another step to register, which you would do after it's synced. You do not want to register, even if StakeWars 2 is live. If you're syncing your node still or your operator, do not register. It needs to be fully synced before you can register. So make sure you read through the docs because there are a lot of important pieces of information in there. I try to cover as much as I can remember offhand, but there's always little details that I might skip over just because I have gone through this so many times that I forget that it's important. But this is how you would do it in Docker. And if I just jump in here, this is actually, it's syncing right now. We're up to 2600. My stacks, I have Autonomys, which is actually running, my cache controller, my node, and it's a cluster. So I've got NATs in here too. And then here's my Autonomys operator. It's just running this one operator. And we can see like the stack file, pretty straightforward. Oh yeah, don't forget, of course, the volumes. I do operator-data. So it's a little bit different than the node-data. Those are just changes that I like. You can kind of name your volume anything you want. But that is it. And just like anything else, you're going to want to make sure those ports are forwarded. All right, that's it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.